Hey guys, welcome back to another video on Gamers Edition. In today's video we're going to be doing a setup tour. Now it's been quite a while since I did the last setup tour, which was around 2020, maybe 2021, but it's now 2023 and let's look at what changes I've made to the setup since the last video. So without any further ado, let's get started. Okay, so the first thing we're going to get started with is the PC itself. So the tower housing all these components is called the Deep Cool Matrix 70. It's a really nice glass side panel case. You can see you've got the glass side panel, you've also got glass on the front panel, and the front panel actually has a button on the side which you can use to either open it slightly for increased airflow, or you can simply lift it off to make some changes to the fan, clean the fans, or whatever you would like to do. And it also slots in quite easily and clicks into place. Okay, now let's talk about the components. So the CPU running this thing is a Ryzen 5 3600, normal one, not an X, just a Ryzen 5 3600. The RAM on this setup is a DDR4 kit, which is 16GB running at 3200 MHz by Corsair, and we've got our EVGA GeForce GTX 1080, and this is the blower style cooler, as you can see. And the motherboard that all these components are connected to is the Aorus B450 Pro. If you want to see a video on this, I'll have it linked in the top right hand corner. And I've also got custom cables on here by Easy DIY, which are black and blue, so you can see I've got it for the GPU, the 12 pin for the motherboard, and the 8 pin for the CPU power. Also from Easy DIY are the fans. Now these fans you can purchase in a pack of 6, and they cost me at the time of purchase £29. Now I did buy these 2 years ago, but what also happened 2 years ago was another YouTuber in the PC space made a video. His name is Jays2Cent. He also made a video on these fans, and ever since he made the video I discovered that the price for these fans increased significantly. I could see those fans for £35 to £40 instead of the £29 I bought it for. However, I will link all the cheapest, I'll put the cheapest link in the description in case you want to purchase these fans. And these are ARGB fans. They come with a fan hub and a button for you to change the RGB and different settings and all that stuff. And one thing I forgot to mention is the cooler I'm running for the Ryzen 5 3600. It's a Golden Feel 240mm AIO, and I'll also link that in the description. I'll try and link everything I can in the description, so if you would like to purchase it or check prices, you can feel free to do that. Okay, so now it's time to check the watt storage I'm running on this. So I'm running 2 1TB hard drives, and I'm also running 2 SSDs, which are both 500GB SSDs, and I think that pretty much sums it up for the PC. Now let's move on to the peripherals. So for my peripherals, I'm running the SteelSeries Apex 5 mechanical gaming keyboard and the SteelSeries Rival 3 mouse. Let's talk about the keyboard first. So the keyboard is a mechanical gaming keyboard. Let's just give you guys a sample. Okay, and as well as it being a mechanical keyboard, it also has a detachable wrist rest, so you can see it's got these magnets in it which make it detachable, and they simply just magnetize back onto the keyboard. And one of the main things I really liked about this keyboard is the screen you have here. So on this screen you can customize it to show whatever you want. So if you're in a game, you can show stuff for your game. So for example, if you're playing CSGO, it can show you how many rounds there's left and how many times you've died, stuff like that. But what I've got this screen set on is called the system monitor. That's what it's called in the SteelSeries software, and the system monitor basically just goes through all the components you have in your PC, showing you the usage, temperature and information like that. As well as this screen, I really like the scroll wheel you've got here to adjust the volume. I think you can customize the scroll wheel as well to do other things if you want to. And then you've also got a button underneath the scroll wheel which is used to change things directly from the keyboard itself. So if I hold this down, there we are, then you can use the scroll wheel to go through all the settings. And then you can also, so if I'm in the settings here, you push down the wheel to actually go into the settings, and then you push down this to go back, and then hold it, and then you come back to the screen here. Okay, so now it's time to talk about the Rival 3 mouse. So the SteelSeries Rival 3 mouse is pretty much, it's quite similar to just the normal mouse that you would probably get at your school or college. However, this thing fits my hand really well, but there's a few small changes that this has over those basic mouses you see at your college or your high school. This has a sensitivity button here, so you can change the sensitivity, which is I think called DPI. If I'm wrong, correct me in the comment section down below. And you've also got these two customizable buttons on the side, which I have customized to change my tabs going forward and backwards on Google Chrome. Then there's just a look at the bottom, and it's overall a really nice mouse. I do have small hands, so this is better suited for me. If you do have larger hands, I'd recommend you go with a different mouse, because this mouse is suited for people with smaller hands. Okay, so now that we've got the peripherals out of the way, let's talk about the main attraction, the monitor. So the monitor I have here is the LG Ultra Gear monitor. So this is a 34 inch ultra wide monitor with 144 Hz refresh rate and a 1 millisecond MBR response time. I'm not sure what the MBR stands for. If you guys do know, let me know in the comment section down below. This also has NVIDIA G-Sync, which I unfortunately had to pay extra for. Gosh dang you, but the price difference wasn't too much from the FreeSync one at the time of purchasing, so I decided I'll just go all out and get the G-Sync one. This is also a IPS panel with HDR, and if I just go through the settings, you can see what I'm running it on currently. I've got 144 Hz on, FreeSync on, and then I've also got for some reason I can't turn the 1 millisecond motion blur reduction on, but I have got the response time on fast, and HDR is off currently because I have the HDR effect on. For some reason, when I turn the HDR on here, and obviously you have to turn it on from your Windows settings, it makes the screen turn yellow. So if you, for example, if you use an iPhone and you've ever turned a night shift mode on, it basically looks like that. Everything's just really warm colored. It's all yellow. It gets rid of all the blue light stuff, and I'm not so much of a fan of that because I like seeing it like this. Okay, so now that we've got the monitor out of the way, let's talk about speakers that I'm running on this setup. These are some basic Sony bookshelf speakers, which if you've been watching the channel for a long time, you would know that I've had these speakers ever since the first setup. And the reason I've had these speakers that long is because they sound amazing. They're 8-ohm speakers, correct me if I'm wrong, and they sound pretty good for bookshelf speakers. One thing I am thinking about doing for these speakers is actually upgrading the hi-fi unit itself. So this is a pretty antique hi-fi unit. I'm basically using the auxiliary input at the back, but then you've also got a lot of unnecessary things such as the cassette player and the CD player at the top, which, let's be honest, I don't use. I just use the auxiliary input to connect it to the computer. So I'm thinking about upgrading this to one of those units that you can put underneath your desk possibly. But if you guys have any suggestions, let me know in the comment section down below, and also if you can link it for me and I'll take a look at it. Okay, so now that we've got all that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the beast that is holding all of these things on here, which is the desk. So this desk I bought from IKEA. It is called the Malm desk, and at the time of purchase, which was around 2 years ago, I purchased this desk for £120, and for £120 I can't preach enough. This desk is absolutely amazing. You can see I've got a 34-inch ultra-wide monitor on here, and it's within its tolerances. I've also got bookshelf speakers on the side, which unfortunately I had to lie down because they looked pretty ugly when they were behind the monitor. So I've got them lied down. Then I've also got a full mid-tower PC on the other side, which is loaded up. Then you can see I've got the desk mat, everything. It's a really good desk, and you've got more than enough space for basically a full setup as I have here. However, I have some friends with this desk and they complained about it bending. So if we just take a seat and give you guys a look, my desk is actually still pretty good. There's no bending, but I guess that's how you distribute the weight of your setup, and majority of the weight of the setup is in this tower right here, and I've got this on the most durable part, which is basically the drawer part, because it's the most durable part, so there's no way the desk can bend. So in my opinion, this is one of the best desks you can get for £120. I'll also link this in the description below. Hopefully it stayed at £120, but maybe it hasn't due to inflation. Okay, so that's going to be it for this video, guys. If you like what we do around here, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. If you have any questions about the setup or anything I forgot to cover, let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll try my best to get back to you and answer your questions.